Jason? What the heck did you do in here?
Hi!
Hello!
I'm Emily.
I'm Jane.
And we're also known as Camp Lovesick. Welcome to Paint Week! Except for Jane.
Yeah.
We always record these intros after we finish editing the video, and you can see behind us that there's no paint on the walls. But it's paint.
That is a good fair point. The reason is this. As we were preparing our walls for painting, which you all will see in this coming video, we realized I hate almost every single thing about this.
Yeah, every part.
It was just outdated, it was old, you try to go to the bathroom, you feel like you're climbing into a coffin.
And unfortunately, paint couldn't fix that.
No.
Yeah, so us and our pal Jason over here decided we needed to make some big changes to this camper to get it ready for painting.
We ripped out lights, we kicked down walls, we sanded, we spackled, we caulked, we grinded.
What?
We didn't grind, but we could have.
Oh my gosh. We did a lot of things. This video is very jam-packed. This week was busy. Let's just get right into it.
Enjoy the show.
So we're going to be taking off all the cabinets in all of the everything in this camper because we're going to be painting everything and we want it to actually be painted well. We're not just rolling on with primer and a finish coat. We want to properly sand everything down because we really want everything in here to last. The other thing we're doing back here, this is where the bed is that we are actually going to be taking these lights off as we already taken this one off. And I'm going to be cutting off this bottom shelf. The reason being, why on earth do you need this? What is this used for? If you have any idea what this is used for, please let us know. But we are making it disappear because
it's so dumb. There's no reason.
There's no reason for it.
It just more space in the room.
Exactly. It makes the lights so much lower. So we're going to be doing that. We will be taking off this light. We will be redoing all of the wiring. And we're just going to wire in some sconces. We think it'll look way better. It'll give the people in bed so much more space. It'll give them a reading light still. And then also give them this much more headspace. And the same amount of storage up top. So
here we go.
Let's get to it. Okay, so now that Jane has all of these down, we still have to get some things off of there, but I am just going to quickly go outside and disconnect the power so I can take these lights apart. Okay, so you saw that this was attached with the shade. All you have to do to get this light off in order to change it out, you take off the shade, then there will be 4 screws drilling this light into place. You take those screws out, it will fall out like this. These are then shoved into this little hole. You can see this hole up here. You pull those out of the hole, you'll have a wire like this. Ours had a little bit of masking tape on it, so you just take that masking tape off, and then all you have to do is just unscrew these counterclockwise. So you keep going. You don't want to just walk away like this, because once you turn the power back on, this is a dangerous thing. So all you do is you reconnect the positive wires to the positive wires, the negative wires to the negative wires. You put these back on by just screwing them clockwise. If you've twisted them properly, they don't come off from pulling. They only come off from turning. So you just turn these the right way. And now this is safe. So we would normally just shove this back in the hole until we replace the lights, but we're actually going to be taking off this entire chunk here. So I'm just going to leave them out for now. Okay, so I'm going to rip off this bottom panel. It's just stapled on. All the thin wood in campers are always just stapled on. I'm just going to unscrew this all the way around and then chop it here, and this bottom piece will be gone. Wow, so dramatic. Okay, ready? I was waiting to film Jane in the bathroom, but the only way we could both fit in here is if I stand in the shower. Jane is finally taking off the last cupboard.
Until we find one more cupboard. I thought I was done a minute ago and then I remembered this one. I'm trying to make the paint stick by roughing it up a little bit. Sometimes I sand it, sometimes I punch it a little and insult its mom. Three feet done, 300 to go.
This outfit is brought to you by seeing nobody else except for my wife for the last 28 days. If not during COVID, you should be able to get yourself a mask. Right now, I don't know, just do the safety full face squint.
We've been sanding for 14 hours now.
No, it's actually been 14 seconds.
No.
But we're done sanding except for a lot of the other surfaces that we haven't sanded
For
yet.
all the places we haven't sanded, we are totally done sanding.
Yeah!
Off to bed. We'll try again tomorrow.
As you can see, it's nighttime. So now that we have everything sanded, we're going through and finding all of the 1 trillion holes that are in this place. Mainly the holes are from those balances. So hashtag worth it. Now what we're doing is filling those holes. We're not entirely sure that we're not going to put the balances back, but just in case, we're going to fill the holes just to, you know, cover all our bases. So you can just use spackling, you can use wood filler. It kind of either or works in this scenario because it's not totally wood, it's more like a composite, but spackling, that's what we have on hand, so it works well. So you just want to get some sort of trowel of sorts. There's actual like spackling tools you can have, but you know what? We've also used old credit cards and gift cards. So honestly, have the tool, use it if you have it. We have it, so obviously we're going to use it, but if you don't have the tool, just get an old credit card. You get a little bit on, you squish it kind of onto the hole, and then you drag at a 45-degree angle. So you kind of go between squishing into the holes and then dragging it over top. Now, this is where it's going to get a little revealing about my personality. I'm quite a perfectionist, so for me, this is what I like. But honestly, if you just did this and got it into all the holes and you left it like that to dry, that's also totally okay. So here, it's obviously very goopy, but what you do is after this is dry, you make sure to go back in with a sander, and it stands very, very smooth with not that much effort. These holes stick out a little bit. If your holes stick out, it'll take way more spackling to make it smooth. One preventative thing you can do is just sand it really well to make sure that it's as smooth as possible. But honestly, it doesn't particularly matter because you're going back in with sanding it. All you're trying to do is just prioritize making sure everything's full. If you're not sure if you're having enough spackling on it, go more the merrier because you can always sand it off after. So we've sanded, we've spackled, and now to get all that little bit of dust off, we have to clean every surface as well as we can. Okay, so if you've wiped down your walls, everything you're sanding, and you're still getting a bit of streaks, what I find is that if you just take a cotton cloth, something with a decently high thread count, and you just wipe it, the friction will take off the remaining dust. If you just keep making it a wet cloth, it will take off some of it, but more or less it'll just keep kind of wiping it around. So clean it twice and then go with a dry cloth over top to get whatever remaining small amounts of residue that you still have.
We haven't been filming for the last maybe hour because it's been too tedious and annoying and boring, and so we said, whatever. But Emma's been taping around all of the parts that we don't want to get covered in paint, and meanwhile I've been going and all these tiny little cracks and taking out the caulking. Big news over here.
We've left out a few steps. We just got so caught up in it, we weren't filming. But we've decided to take down this bathroom wall. You will see why. The bathroom's gonna be so much bigger, but here we go. Let's take it down. Kick it, Jane, kick it. Nice. Bye. Bye, wall. We have some tricks up our sleeve to make this the best trailer bathroom in the world. So we can't wait. We're so happy we got to take out that wall.
So what we've done behind is taken off all of the nasty, gross parts of the wall. They had a long time ago molded at some point, and the mold was dry and it was like, it's probably fine now, but we don't want to sell something that's probably fine. We want to sell something that's actually fine. So what we did is we ripped off the front of this wall, cut out all of the like gross, weird, moldy parts, and now we're just in the process of rebuilding this wall and making it so that it's not probably fine, it's actually fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a few bits, like we're still gonna cut off this piece of paneling, but you know what, in the end, everything that we're replacing, we didn't necessarily have to replace, but we really want to be confident when we're selling this that we're giving the best product that we possibly can, and we're putting that forward. So, you know, here we are, where we know we're choosing the right path, even though it's more work and more time, but we're happy to at least take you along with the journey. And
so step one, take out everything gross.
Okay, so I've drawn my line of where I want to cut. I have my multi-tool, and I'm just gonna slice away. You could use a variety of tools, but this thing's super cheap, super easy, so here we go. Jason! He's decapitated! Jason, how did this happen? Did you fall? Did I cut you? Oh no. It's okay, we can glue him back together, but he's always gonna have a scar. Poor Jason. You got what you deserved, I guess.
We're 2 weeks into building, and we've had our first injury. Poor Jason has lost his head. We're really trying not to overwhelm the healthcare system at the moment, so sometimes dire straits we have to take matters into our own hands. There you go, Jason. Little neck brace. Good as new. For more medical advice, follow my blog.
What's your blog?
I don't have one yet, but I'm gonna start a medical vlog all about at-home remedies, essences, oils, and of course,
Loom repairs.
loom repairs.
They could also, I guess, check out camplovesick.com in the meantime.
Yeah, they could.
So now what we have to do is rebuild the structure of the wall, and then we'll patch up this piece, and we're also going to actually be making this wall 2 inches wider. Why? You'll just have to wait and see.
One of the things that we learned on our last build is that if one thing isn't perfect, then every other thing has to accommodate to also not be perfect, which was very annoying when we were trying to build our bus. So this time, we're really trying hard to make things extra perfect, which is why I just cut this little piece of wood 4 times in a row until it was the perfect size.
So one good tip is to have 2 different drills. That way when you're doing your pilot holes, which you should always do pilot holes, it's a mistake to not. You don't have to keep switching between your bits. We don't have access to every tool that we normally do, so we're having to change the bits. That's fine, but annoying.
Hoo-wee, look at that framing wonder.
So day 2, I'm building this wall. We thought we were done yesterday. We had these cross pieces in here for our framing to add stability. And then we realized we made a huge mistake. And that mistake was that we didn't have any framing going up and down to go exactly where our boards were going to be attaching to. So this paneling here goes on the outside to cap in the wall, as you see in the rest of the RV. We are painting it, so that's why it's giving us that liberation to be able to mix and match the pieces that we're using here, so we don't actually have to even go out and buy new paneling. But with that being said, if you're changing a wall in an RV or doing something in your house where you're changing the walls, you always need to make sure you have framing at the very ends as well as in the middle, but specifically at the very ends. So whether that's drywall or planks, no matter what you're doing, you need to have framing at either end so that it's exactly at the end is where it will get also brad nailed on. So in the middle here, where we cut out this piece because the paneling wasn't in great shape, that means now that we need to put a piece of framing right here so that this piece of paneling can be brad nailed on and the new piece of paneling that we're putting here can be brad nailed on as well. So at every single edge, there needs to be framing, which is why I'm now going to build this. So here we go. Our roof is in actually pretty good shape, but there are some small leaks that we've noticed. So we've gone ahead and we've started ripping out the inside and we're replacing what we have to replace on the inside. But in order to stop the leaks from reoccurring, what we have to do is replace the caulking. So the one thing that's super important to remember when you're replacing caulking is you're replacing it. You're not going over top of it. It will seem as though caulking will bond to caulking when you're putting it on, but actually it just peels right off. So you have to go in with any kind of scraper you have, X-Acto knife, whatever you got, just to really, really get the old caulking out of there, scrub it totally off before you then start putting your new caulking on. When you put your new caulking on, you want to make sure it's a nice thick layer. This is a pretty messy job, but since it's going on the roof, it doesn't really matter.
So this smoothing technique with our hand that we're doing is not actually what you're supposed to do. The real instructions are on the bottle and it never once says to do this technique. However, we've repaired a few hatches and things on the top of our bus roof. We know that this strategy works.
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, me too. That was a ton of work.
So much work.
But demo is finally
Done!
real this time.
For real. Okay, and what are we doing next week?
We're building. We're gonna start by building this L-shaped pull-out couch. Math is real.
So hard. Oh my gosh.
Thanks so much for watching.
Be sure to subscribe so you can see our next videos and follow along with this journey.
And we'll see you then.
See you next week.